Hey out there, legal warriors. In this video, I'm going to cover why you need to quit overthinking your case. So many people get stuck in the hamster wheel of overthinking their case. And the authorities should think this, or the judge should do that, or why are they just wasting time on me? And this overthinking does nothing but punish you. In this video, I'm going to cover why it's important we don't do that and what you can do to stop. So if you're interested in this area of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Lynnwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 25 years now, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. Yep, 25 years. We just had our 25-year anniversary on Friday. And as part of that, lots of different people from the legal community showed up. Prosecutors, people that work law enforcement, even court personnel can show up and sort of, people get together because it's a cooperative system. And when I thought about what video I want to put out, the first one since that date, what would be the most help to people out there accused of crimes, and it would be to quit overthinking your cases. Because I represent a lot of people, right? My firm does. We have 8 attorneys now, including myself. And the type of people that hire us are thoughtful, accomplished people that are pretty, afraid of what's going on. And if you're watching this video out there, you've been accused of a crime, you're probably thoughtful and accomplished and also afraid of what's going on. So what do we do in our spare time? Well, we go to Lawyer Google, right? We start typing in all these things, what could happen in this DUI case, in this domestic case, in this theft case, and what's the worst that could happen, what could happen with my, immigration status, all these things. And when we go to the search engine to search for answers, more often than not, we're going to come up with answers that are pretty scary. And why is that? Well, answers out there in the search engine world are basically trying to be literally true, so they're talking about the worst case scenario, right? The maximum penalty for a gross misdemeanor is 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. So many people are going to search, what's the maximum penalty, or what's the penalty, and all that comes up is the maximum. And if you've never been in the system before, that's pretty scary. I'm going to get the maximum. Well, hopefully not. That's not even realistic. I've done this job 30 plus years. I've never seen anything near the maximum on a non-felony case. But it simply doesn't help to go start doing intense research online, because usually those online sources are basically advertising, right? They're advertising. They're trying to increase urgency, increase fear, while also being literally correct. And what we need to do to avoid the overthinking is we need to trust the legal counsel that we hire, right? So many times I will tell a client over and over again, here's what I expect to happen, here's how I think it will go, and here's what I need you to do to help me do that. And that's going to be based upon the specifics of that case, of that law enforcement agency, of the particular prosecutor, even of the particular judge. So that's far more useful hearing from your attorney what it is that they expect and what you can do to help them for the actual situation that you're in, not the generic Bing or Google or Yahoo or however else we search nowadays, or TikTok. Please don't search TikTok for answers, please. But what I don't want you to do is get out there and keep overthinking, because how does that hurt your case? How does overthinking about what might happen hurt your case? Well, the first thing it does is it typically paralyzes you. It paralyzes you from moving forward. When we are so upset about how unfair it is, or so afraid about what might happen to us, oftentimes we just get into not fight or flight, we get into freeze mode. And if you've watched this channel in the past, I talk about radical acceptance of reality. To get out of that freeze mode, we often have to radically accept the notion that we don't know what's going to happen, that we don't control the outcome, and that it's not fair that we don't know what's going to happen. right, as the client, as the person in the situation. Us attorneys may have a pretty good idea if the game plan goes right, but from your point of view, since you've not been in this before, that not knowing is terrifying. And that's why we just keep typing in. Let's keep searching. Let's keep clicking on the phone and see more and more scary stuff. So not only does it freeze us, it can also cause us to make mistakes. That's the second thing. It can freeze us, and it can also cause us to make mistakes. That's number two. How would it cause us to make mistakes? Well, we get online, we see all these suggestions that might be out there for another case, not your specific case. Hey, I read it's good to do anger management. I'm going to go ahead and enroll in some anger management. You spend this time and money doing the anger management, but then your attorney rightfully tells you, hey, this court doesn't take that anger management, or they don't care about anger management. They care about DVMRT, or they care about other things. And so now you've used this time and energy and resources into something that's probably not going to benefit your case. You can also make other mistakes in your case by trying to get out there and start influencing witnesses, right? Oh, I'm so terrified, I'm going to go be my own lawyer. I'm going to talk to the victim on my own. I'm going to try to get them to not do something or to do something. And sometimes there's a no contact order that could get you arrested. Or sometimes that's called witness tampering, which would get you charged with a felony. And again, we're out there, making mistakes because we're trying to overthink our way out. This is how it should be, so this is what you think you should do. I don't want you doing that. I want you listening to your attorney. And if your attorney doesn't know just yet what you should do, it's because they're trying to gather that information. Oftentimes when we take a path in a case, sometimes we can alter the path, but sometimes once we take a path, it's hard to get off that path. So we want to start the right path on the case, and sometimes that requires input from the prosecution. We do not want to make the mistake and assume that the prosecutor's automatically trying to crush you, right? Oftentimes we don't know if the prosecutor's very, very upset with this fact pattern or not. I can think of half a dozen cases, which I'm not allowed to talk about here in my head right now, where I'm waiting to find out how upset is the prosecution with this fact pattern. Because if I don't want to suggest it's a real big deal if they don't think it is, that'd be a mistake. Hey, I had my guy do all this stuff because this is so bad. Oh, really? Is it bad? Well, let me look at it closer. Oh, yeah, it is bad. Now we just made the situation worse. So it's important that we go ahead and follow the instructions of the attorney and be okay if the attorney doesn't know yet. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're dumb. It's probably because they're smart and they're trying to limit risk for you, the client. Why else should we avoid overthinking? Because it tortures us, right? You don't sleep at night. You're the worst for your family. You're just more and more distracted from the things that you should be paying attention to. Your job, your loved ones, your health, right? We can start to overdrink. We can start to overeat. We can do other bad things trying to cope with the anxiety that we're creating by overthinking the situation that we're in. Now, I don't want you to underthink, but what I mean by overthinking is coming up with your own solutions, digging deep into the night with all these things that don't even apply to you. Educating yourself in general is fine, but educate yourself hopefully through a YouTube channel, which is more about information and not sales, through your attorney, through your attorney's staff, through their resources. If you're really curious, you can go to the court and watch other hearings like yours, right? There's lots of things you can do to dispel all the fears as opposed to just overthinking the situation and getting farther and farther down that rabbit hole until we're Alice in Wonderland and we don't know where we're at anymore. So it's a simple concept. It's hard to do, and other ways to try to do it, go to books like The Obstacle is the Way, right? That type of, stoic type thinking where we just go straight forward and what needs doing next type stuff. We can also, do some type of counseling or therapy, but just don't talk about the facts of the case, talk about the stresses you're under, semantic experiencing, where you sort of get out of your head and get into a physical object, right? I have a bunch of little trinkets around my office where I might look at these trinkets at sometimes to try to keep my head from, spinning about all the problems that we're trying to solve, and sort of ground ourselves back in reality, not in this, hypothetical, dungeon we're creating for ourselves with our thoughts. So I hope this is useful. Just listen to your attorney, quick clickety-clacking on the, what could happen on your case, and just work together to try to get the result that you need and you deserve. So if you found this useful, please like it, please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. More importantly, if you have a criminal matter in Washington State, feel free to reach out to my firm. If we get on board, we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.